feel like Demi would probably know the correct pronunciation of this map. I remember Fear Dragon was trying to explain to a lot of us over on Twitter what it actually is, but I mean, nobody listens to that. Over here on Jagannatha LE, here spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the yellow Protoss player coming down from the land of Vietnam. He, right now, should just about be the top Vietnamese Protoss player, probably the second best Vietnamese player, just in general. Gonna be currently teamless, if I'm not mistaken. Please do not hit me. I'm going off of memory. Please don't hurt me. We have, you know them as Miss Fanta, but we know them as ThuocLao. Hashtag ThuocLao.
And spawning in the top right, the Red Zerg, representing the nation of India and Downfall Gaming. Give it up for the Shark, Demi. Hashtag get a semi for Demi.
Yeah, already in the semis. Or since this is double elimination, the upper bracket finals, which is kind of like the semis. You know, it's kind of like a truck.
Mm.
You have the semi-truck, but if it's a double, then it just becomes an upper truck.
An upper truck.
That'd be a great wrestling move. Hold up. That'd be a great wrestling move.
Oh no, he's using the upper truck. His finisher.
I want that in some kind of fighting game. And he's out of it. The hand just turns into a truck. Oh, it's beautiful.
Pretty sure I saw an anime like that once.
It's just a normal uppercut, but, you know.
Yeah.
And it transforms. Alright, so I think a lot of us are going to be looking at Miss Fanta here. Over in ANZ Champs, he showed that he was a really good PvT player, but he didn't have that many Zerg players in his group. I believe the only one was Risky, and obviously going up against Risky as a bit of a newcomer, needless to say, he had a bit of a tough time. But we'll see how he can do against Demi. Hopefully he's learned a thing or two since then. He's been continuing to improve his play. And now we're just, I mean, eyes on him. Gonna go for the Stargate play, which again, don't know what it is about Protoss players in Jagannatha, but always at least one Stargate coming out on this map. Some players are more dedicated, though.
Yeah.
Right, just trying to chase away a little bit of scouting right now. ThuocLao really wants to go with the element of surprise. You don't really need to if you're going something like, say, Oracles or what have you, but it's nice to have. I did not realize the vision on that main base. Whoa, that spreads pretty far. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, there's another map that does it. I can't remember. Or unless it was just this map that I was thinking of. But yeah, it's very, very useful.
Yeah, life tip, just put a unit right on the edge of your main base over there if you want to deal with an overlord that's chilling on that high ground pillar. Much like how ThuocLao dealt with it, and now just flying across with the Oracle, unscouted. But Demi does, you know, he is a cautious player. He is covering his bases, getting a couple of spores here and there, and going into roaches behind this.
It is very, very, you know, not questionable, but very odd. Usually generally see Hydras more in this day and age of PvZ because of, you know, those Stargate openings. But maybe Demi's going to go for a timing attack here. You know, good old El Cucaracha, as we like to call it back in the day.
Yeah, always a possibility. Has fallen off a little bit in the meta, for multiple different reasons, but it is always a possibility. One thing I do like about the Roach Warren is it makes sure that Demi is safe for the early game. He can still go into the Hydras a little bit later than perhaps he'd like, but at least he isn't, you know, teching up and taking too big of a risk.
Yeah. Oh, it's fair base. Okay, not gonna get threatened.
Yeah, too many shield batteries, too many sentries, too many everything that a Protoss player needs to defend, really. There's just too many. That's just too many. In general.
Alrighty. Well, it looks like Miss Fanta here is going to go for a ground-based composition of just, might be just charge lots, Sentry, and Immortals as well. So, especially since he has seen the Roach Warren, he feels like some Roaches are going to come, so some Immortals will help with that. He's even getting the Robotics Bay, Robotic Support Bay at the moment.
Yeah, and the rational thing would be to get disruptors, but we have seen a couple of Protoss players in recent times deciding, you know what, I'm instead going to go for Thermal Lance Colossus. Just, again, I'm not sure what it is, but I guess it's, the idea is to have some sort of range siege unit on your opponent, but I still do question it.
Yeah, and once you get 2, 3, or even 4, they pretty much can shred Roaches in a very decent way.
Yeah, they're also going to help quite a bit against Hydras, and they do outrange Lurkers when they're unupgraded, as that is what Demi has decided to go down. There we go, Colossus.
Yeah. And getting Blink for the Stalkers as well, so this is definitely going to be working out in favor in case there's any flying units, you know, like some mutas or corruptors to try and stop these these Colossus from doing any damage. But now it seems like Miss Fanta has got the better army composition here.
Yeah, the thing that is starting to be worrisome though is Miss Fanta has been teching up into this. He has been building up his army to try to go for a bit of a timing, but Demi, he realizes, yo, my opponent has not pressured me whatsoever. He tried to go in with the Oracles, didn't get much of anything done. Now just continue to scout me. I'm going to go into a very quick hive. I'm just going to play as greedy as I can and get those seismic spines and get those adaptive talents. Really mess up the Protoss player's day. So he does confirm the Colossus. A little bit of scouting there on the Lings.
There's still no +2 coming from either player at the moment. They seem to be getting their units intact at this time. So, you know, just both macroing up as best as they can.
Yeah, a little unwilling to really push out anytime soon. Going for that more old school strategy of I'm gonna make sure I'm really stable economically. I'm gonna max out as quickly as I can, and then start to make my way slowly towards your side of the map. ThuocLao switching things up, gonna get some disruptors after only 2 Colossus. Thermal Lance has been halted. Good old use of the contamination.
Yeah. Gotta hate that. Especially when you just used a Chrono Boost on it.
That's gotta be the worst feeling if you're a Protoss player, but the best feeling if you're a Zerg player. Just hee, you don't get units, you don't get upgrades, haha! Let's go!
Seismic Spines on the way here for the Lurkers.
Yeah, and once those pop out, I believe the range is equal or maybe even greater than the Thermal Lance of the Colossus.
Oh!
Yeah, Disruptor's not really purification of us.
Oh, nice. And
Yeah, all them Lings just gonna be completely taken. Yeah, completely taken out of this run by, and this is gonna be okay. It's not that much supply, to be fair, and it's not gonna be the major game changer for the upcoming engagement. But it's still something. Miss Fanta trying to push in with as much as he's got. Also transitioning behind this with that fleet beacon. Seismic Spines has finished up, so this is gonna be very tricky for ThuocLao to engage into.
Well, he has got the disruptors, and if he can get some good shots, we'll be able to maybe take out some Colossus. Take out... oh, but this counterattack by Demi, really nice. Even forcing the recall here.
And that is the vast majority of ThuocLao's army. His army has been pretty much split up. Demi knows he can't quite fight this, but he is content with just being able to push the army back. And backs away. Ooh, unfortunate little stasis. Demi even noticed it right at the last second, but it triggered just too soon.
Yep, now Adaptive Talons almost complete here. So yeah, those pretty much, those lurkers are just going to be able to just pop in and pop out. Disrupt shots aren't going to be able to do too much, it feels like.
Exactly, you just get so many more offensive options when Adaptive Talents completes. Look at those lurkers just completely jump in, jump out. Only one of them going down. That's always kind of funny to see. It's almost like whack-a-mole. Massive run by, but a huge choke point as well that Demi's trying to take advantage of. One base goes down, but it wasn't a very important base for Demi. Probes are finally starting to fall. Battery overcharge being forced. And the Lings get right on out.
Yeah, I don't think Demi knows there's a base just to his bottom left there. So he has to be diligent if he wants to try and sneak that.
Yeah, and he's definitely trying. Purification Novas will get a little bit done. Takes out a Disruptor.
Oh.
Or a Lurker, rather. But the Yoinks are starting to come down. These are some pretty expensive units, both Disruptors as well as Colossus.
Oh.
Really good job.
Legs.
Yeah, really good job.
Really dying.
Entirely.
Oh.
And this Fanta kind of feels a little obligated to start to push in, start to try to equalize the damage.
The thing is, Miss Fanta is actually getting more damage done than Demi is. Demi hasn't taken down a single base yet. Surely he's gotten a couple of workers here and there, but not being able to take out full bases. It's not really hurting Miss Fanta at this moment.
Yeah, the funny thing is, they're gonna be about even in bases once Miss Fanta finishes up that fifth base, but he is also pretty far behind in terms of the worker count. So funnily enough, Demi actually having a slight income advantage. Most of the bases have already are also very mined out here for ThuocLao. Good reveal on top of most of the lurkers. And it does allow Miss Fanta the opportunity to just throw in a couple of Purification Novas, take his chances, see what he can get done. Good yoinks. No more Disruptors with this army. And that is a massive, massive game changer to how this plays out. Both armies are about to clash. Miss Fanta blinked forward. And Demi a little caught off guard, but thanks to the adaptive talents, it was throw quick enough. Miss Demi has really had enough of that. Oracle and its reveals. It's trying to yoink it. Get something done. The army for Demi is a little bit split, but the lurkers are in a really good position, really well spread out, and there are no disruptors to really take advantage of the big splash damage. Carriers starting to come in. There are a couple of Hydras here, and there we go. Already just gonna be yoinked and taken right on out. Really good use of the Blinding Cloud. Really just zoning the army of Miss Fanta away. And Demi getting a free base. There's no way for ThuocLao to easily get defenses here. But Demi is not even not content with just being able to take that out. Goes right into the heart of Miss Fanta's production. Has to be careful. These are choke points that ThuocLao is trying to utilize Purification Novas on. But so much damage has been done. Most of the Robo base All robo facilities have been taken out. And again, just building about 1-2 carriers at a time. Demi's already camping the production of Miss Fanta. He's really got to do something a little desperate to try to turn this around.
Desperate may not be enough. As Miss Fanta hits, the army is just, you know, milling around this 4th base. Not really engaging, maybe doesn't have the vision in.
They're trying to see what it can really get done. So many probes starting to fall. And Miss Fanta just trying to get something out. The mothership has finished up, but there's still a couple of Vipers here. Do they have energy for Yoink though? Starting to get pretty low, starting to get targeted down by the carriers. And it's just not quite enough for Demi to close this out.
Oh!
Look at the probe line up.
There we go.
Oh,
there's still level!
There's still one lurker still there, just camping that ramp. And again, all the production is in the main base. They cannot get out without the probes.
Oh my god!
Somebody gift that. Somebody gift that. That was just about the perfect lurker volley. Oh boy. And now we're at 65 drones versus 21 probes. Demi so far ahead in the army count, remaking those Vipers. And Miss Fanta? I mean, the income graph really just tells you the whole story, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, whew. Miss Fanta definitely had like a huge lead going into this, you know, sieging up Demi's base, taking out a couple of them. But now Demi's done the reverse, and Demi's looking in a good position to take this game 1, by the way.
Yeah, it's looking better and better for him. Just as time goes on. Also gotta remember that making these interceptors does cut into ThuocLao's, does cut into his minerals as well. He cannot really afford to sustain too many losses. And losses are the name of the game right now for Demi. He is looking, sharking around with his Vipers, trying to get a yoink. They thought that the shark could be killed with harpoons, but in the end, the shark used harpoons for himself. Mothership gonna go down. And that is the start of something massive that's gonna swing into Demi's favor.
Look at the bank of Demi.
Yeah, it's more than ThuocLao's, to say the least.
He has enough to just remax on Lings if he lost his entire army.
He really does, and what is this Fanta really gonna do about it? Well, he's gonna storm, and he's gonna use the interceptors and the Archon and the Colossus. But what is he gonna do about it? That's a question people always gotta be asking. Impenetrable defenses over here at this base of Demi. So Miss Fanta trying to go around, but look at this! Trying to come into the flank. Good feedbacks, but it is not quite gonna be enough. Hydras are starting to come in. GG is called, and Demi takes game number 1.
Whew, what a game! I mean, we so back and forth. You know, felt like Miss Fanta had the upper hand there, the early to big game. But hopefully it should be all right. But yeah, so was Demi just taking that game through to the mid late, especially with that push that he did that got the army split up, and well, that was ain't able to get it done.
Yeah, it's a funny thing about PvZ where it does kind of come down to what the late game is going to look at, right? Or what the late game is going to look like. And you want to be able to sort of slow down your opponent to make sure that they don't get to that stage, as in a PvZ, both maxed out Sky Toss and maxed out, Zerg play can be something that's very tricky to deal with. Demi absolutely showing that he was more well-versed in that stage of the game, but also ThuocLao not really putting any pressure at all into Demi. Both players really saying, I just want to max out and then I want to push out. But as you can see, that worked way better for our Zerg player than our Protoss one.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, let's see what the second map is here.
Yeah, it is going to be ThuocLao's choice. ThuocLao's gone offline. It seems, or maybe AFK. So see him in the channel. Okay, we'll try to sort that out. And
No, he's there. He's back.
okay, he's back. Could have been the VPN.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. I know a lot of these SEA/OCE players do like using those VPNs. Just to get a little bit of a, I don't want to call it an edge, but more of a, more of a ping equalizer, I should say. All right, is going to be Miss Fanta's map pick. Are going to be awaiting to see where he selects.
Righty.
See what's going to come down.
Mm-hmm. With the crown.
Ah, like that one series.
Oh, just... yeah, well, hopefully we will get it.
I do have to wonder. I mean, ThuocLao, he does favor a very defensive style. Could be potentially Light Shade. Could be a map where he wants to sort of leverage that.
Mm-hmm.
But we shall see. Maybe he might be that crazy player who decides, you know what? I'm gonna go for whatchamacallit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go for submarine just as a way to do something or another. And we have a group please coming down, being redeemed. So we will be getting that into the next game. Just gonna message Miss Fanta real quick just to confirm with him what the map pick is gonna be. And then we'll get that sorted out.
All right, and we have an update on the bracket. Azul 1-0 Oreo. So Azul will be going on to face up against Mia Micah.
Yeah, gonna be facing off Mio Micah in that good old TvZ matchup. Once again, gonna be a best of one, and Mio Micah, he's a really good player. He's a pretty crazy player, but we'll see if he can get. We'll see if he can get something figured out, or if Azure is able to pull something off.
Proxy double Rex.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. All right. Well, this is all going on. Would remind everyone, !Patreon in the chat will bring you to the Cranky Ducklings Patreon page, where you too can make a little bit of a pledge. $5 minimum, but there are also many other tiers to sort of look at with the other advantages that it could also give you. And they're pretty interesting, Get some games casted and whatnot. But even for the lowest tier, you can get some replays coming down. Go ahead and if you go ahead and do that, we'll be able to also support the prize pool directly, support the Cranky Ducklings. It helps out Light's wallet. And everybody come in and welcome Group coming down to cast our next match. our next map, as ThuocLao has confirmed, he wants to go for Romanticide.
Hello there. I just wanted to say, Yaku, that the lowest tier is actually $1.
The lowest tier is $1 and will not give you replays.
No, it will not give you replays. For replays, you do need the $5 one. But there is a lower tier. Like, if somebody just wants to support us, like, you don't have to, like, spend a lot of money. But, like, if you have, like, $1, you know, some loose change or something, you can give it to the Ducklings.
Yeah, and we do definitely appreciate it quite a bit. Again, they go directly to fund the... these tournaments and whatnot.
Yep. The funds from Patreon are straight for tournaments. Like, you can see in the Go section, like basically, depending on how well our Patreon will do, like, we may be able to grow our tournaments more, to, like, give them more prize pool and stuff. So, yeah, it would be cool if you can check it out.
Yeah, we do have some, there are some ambitions coming down the
Demi,
line.
stop listening to the stream.
Yeah, Demi's pretty excited come down, as we do have a group, please. And this is, you gotta give it to Demi, though. He is... And it's something that you gotta appreciate. He will make, if he gets casted during a group please, he will try to make the game a little bit longer. Try to circumvent that Kuro curse.
Does he though? Does he?
You know what I mean? He tries. And speaking of trying, we're gonna come down to Romanticide. LE. LE, of course, standing for Lovers Envelope. Lover's Envelope. That, of course, is when you send letters and whatnot. Here in the... I mean, I assume you do that. I mean, well, then again, nowadays it's not as necessary.
Have you never sent a love letter, Yaku?
Does the fan letter count?
I mean, I guess, was it like in a nice envelope?
It was in one of those that you get for free at the post office.
Well then.
And speaking of free, here we are in the bottom right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. The player who will give you one heck of a performance for free. Just always been impressed with, you know, how he sort of plays. We have the yellow Protoss player coming out from the land of Vietnam. If I remember correctly, currently teamless. But he is known as Miss Fanta, but we know him as ThuocLao.
And in the top left of the map, Romanticide, LE. Yaku already told you what LE stands for, so I don't have to do that, fortunately. We have the top player of GPO. Even though 2020 hasn't been exactly his year, but he's still the top player of GPO. He's trying to bring it back. He's trying to get back to the top. He can't let me or Micah get there. We have Demi, representing India and Downfall Gaming. Also, a disclaimer, because actually ThuocLao was mentioning it in the chat. I can't say I know Vietnamese, but he was mentioning that it's supposed to be ThuocLao and not ThuocLao.
Ah, ThuocLao.
I don't know if that's how it's read,
Right.
though. So, you know, take it as you wish.
Yeah, I think it could be one of those things where, you know, the people who are fluent in Vietnamese, they say it a little quicker. So to us who aren't quite used to the language, we're like, Thuc. But yeah, it's actually like ThuocLao.
Maybe.
Something like that.
I don't know, but I know me and Micah was tweeting about this during AS Champs as well. That, like, apparently all the Vietnamese people are having a lot of fun hearing the non-Vietnamese casters trying to say it. But yeah.
Yeah, it could also be why you decided to go into Miss Fanta, just to make it a little easier on us. We do appreciate it. What I do...
Yeah.
I will say this, though. Considering that he went with the name Miss Fanta and went with the yellow color, it's reminding me so much of these citrus Fantas that we don't get here in Asia.
Fanta is orange.
Is it orange or is it lemon?
Classic Fanta is orange.
It's orange, Yaku.
Well, the thing is, it tastes different over in Europe than it does in Asia.
We have a
The
dark
Arc
shine.
Shrine getting thrown down, and this, I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier on, didn't we, Kuro? We were looking at Miss Fanta, just really trying to see how he turns this around. Normally he likes to go defensive, but against Demi, he can't quite afford to do that. So I'm really loving this
Oh,
decision
but
coming
look
up.
at this! Demi is ready for a Bane Blast. Like, will the DDs be there in time? The Dark Shine is only halfway done, and there's barely any units.
There really isn't. Only a couple of Adepts, and they fall so fast. The Banelings trying to take them out, but they do go down. The wall is open, and I guess
Oh,
Demi
nice
doesn't really try to extend his games during a group please, because this is looking like Miss Fanta's in a lot of trouble.
Even morphing Banelings is his mineral line. Just, yep.
Yeah, Demi doesn't care. He's a straight up gangster. Alright, force actually use the warp prism warp in, as there aren't a lot of safe places to warp. Oh, misplaced on the force field, just a little bit
Just
off.
barely. And this one DT is like trying to catch up, like, wait guys, I'm gonna deal with this, I'm here, don't worry about it.
The DT really saying, yo, I one-shot these lings. Just eventually I'm gonna take them out. Demi can always manually detonate those banelings, can't he?
Yeah.
On top of the DT.
He chooses
Oh
not
no,
to,
but the
though.
DT is targeted. DT's gotta be very careful. Miss Phantom's gotta be very careful. Every time the baneling he swipes at the baneling, the DT actually takes damage.
Oh,
Take it out.
there you go. And that's
GG.
GG.
Hashtag Kuro
5
curse.
minutes, 18 seconds. So about that, Demi tries to make games longer.
I may have been remembering the Bizarro world.
You may have been. Because I don't remember Demi specifically making games longer when I cast. I do not remember that.
I remember vaguely it was one or the other, and I decided to go for the gamble and say, yeah, he likes to make things longer, but yeah, no.
I mean, Demi was who actually, quote-unquote, created the Kuro curse, because
Yeah.
the very first time I was requested to cast, that was without points. It was for Demi's game. He specifically requested for me to cast, and it was Demi versus Beastork, and he wrote all the into him in 5 minutes. And ever since then, the games I cast are mostly like 5 minutes long. So it's all Demi's fault. There you go.
Hashtag blame Demi. That was the foundation. That was a voodoo hex. Wouldn't have turned out that way if not for the first,
Yes, clearly.
group plays without channel points.
Clearly. I was just watching one of the old VODs when I casted like a 3-minute game that Darkin requested, and everybody was so upset. It was beautiful.
Sounds great. At least you didn't have to do any Española. Speaking of which, we are 2,000 points away
Oh my.
from Intro Española número 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6.